Well, good evening. Welcome to the regular council meeting for Monday, May 30th, 2016. I'm Mayor Ted Schaefer, and with me are my council colleagues, Councillor Jack Arnold, Councillor Paul Albrecht, Councillor Rudy Storda-Boom, Councillor Gail Martin, Councillor Val Vandenbroek, and Councillor Nathan Pahal. And with us is our, in the staff table, we have Darren Light, Director of Corporate Services. We have Carolyn Machada, who's Manager of Legislative Services. Paula Cusack, Deputy Corporate Officer. Francis Chung, our Chief Administrative Officer. On the other side, we have Gerald Minchuk, Director of Development Services and Economic Development. Rick Baumhoff, Director of Engineering, Parks and Environment. And Kim Hilton, Director of Recreation, Culture and Community Services. And I now need a motion that the May 30th, 2016 agenda be adopted as circulated. Councillor Martin, Councillor Vandenbroek, all those in favor? It's unanimous for. Next item we have is the minutes of the May 9th, 2016 meeting be adopted as circulated. Moving a seconder, Councillor Albrecht and Councillor Storda-Boom. All those in favor? Against, unanimous for. We have a couple of delegations this evening. The first delegation is Lisa Stadler from Langley School District number 35, and this is a Refugee Youth Art Project. And if you'd like to come on up and explain what it's all about. And I take it you're Lisa? Oh. Brianne?
Sorry?
Give us your name and...
My name is Trupen Amu. So I'll be speaking to you guys tonight. First of all, good evening, Mr. Mayor. It is a privilege to be here tonight to speak to City Council about World Refugee Day. Again, my name is Trupen Amu, and I moved to Langley 2007 as a government-assisted refugee. I am Karen, and I was born in a remote refugee camp on the Thai-Burma border. I grew up with very poor education, limited medical care, and poor nutrition. But my parents, they came into the refugee camp after fleeing from Burmese army for many years. My family had no hope in the refugee camp and took the opportunity to come to Canada to give me and my brothers and sisters a better life. I came to Canada when I was 9 years old. It has been hard, and my parents do not speak English well, and I have a responsibility to help them with everything from doctor's appointment to going to their car, like getting their car fixed, to helping with mortgage payment when I can, aside from a part-time job. But I am very lucky to be in Canada and to get good education here. This year, I am graduating from grade 12, so I am very honored. And for refugee, life is difficult, but I know for everybody life is difficult, but being a refugee, it makes it harder. It puts you at a disadvantage. Korean people were not recognized as citizens and are persecuted in Burma and are not wanted and poorly treated as refugees in Thailand. I became a Canadian citizen a few years ago, and it is the first time in my life that I belong to any country. Today, I am proud to be Canadian and I'm proud to call Langley my home. Today, I am here sharing my story, but my story is not the only story. It is the story of many other refugee youth. We all face the same challenges, and 3 years ago, we began sharing our stories with the community through artwork, which we're going to show you. So June 30th is recognized around the world as World Refugee Day, and we would like to ask City Council to recognize World Refugee Day and the plight of many of more than 60 million refugees around the world and celebrate the contribution of refugees who now call Langley their home. We would like the opportunity to display our artwork at City Hall. If there is space, we could do that. It would be honored. Recently, many Syrian refugees have arrived in Langley, and speaking from my experience, the days and months ahead will be challenging. But I believe that Langley is a welcoming place, and World Refugee Day is a wonderful way to recognize the strength of refugees and how they can make Langley a better place. Thank you for your time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for your presentation. Would anybody like to question? Sure. Councillor Vandenbroek, do you like to make a motion then that?
I would like to put forward a motion that we do this.
All right. Thank you. Discussion? Councillor Storteboom?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your presentation. I'll be happy to support this recommendation and look forward to more art in the future. I just wanted to say thank you for your presentation, and I'm proud to be a Canadian with you. So thank you very much.
So the motion will be that we can put up the art downstairs, because we as a council do not recognize specific days, and we recognize that this artwork is very important to you and to the Karen group. So we have a motion on the floor to display this downstairs in City Hall.
Thank you.
Councillor Arnold? Nope. All those in favor of displaying? Perfect. And it'll be downstairs, and thank you very much for coming and making this presentation.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Mr. Rhys Griffith. Don't forget to use the mic.
Okay.
Are we on net? Is that appropriate now? I can't read.
Paula, how do we get out of this one?
Is that better, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? No, it's okay. We won't be using this very much until later. Are we on net? Is that clear now? Okay. Is that all right?
Your mic is clear. Perfect.
Yeah, that's at this point in time. That's really all that we're dealing with. All right. We're not trying to make a visual at this point in time. The visual is my partner Gwen's contribution in a second after me. I will try and be as quick as possible. Right. I'd like to thank Council and staff, anyway, for accepting our late application to be on the agenda, and that was only started last Thursday, Friday. My name is Rhys Griffith, and I live at 15219 197A Street in the City of Langley. We are here to address the City staff letter titled Stairs to Brydon Lagoon, dated the 26th of May 2016, which was sent to homeowners backing onto the public trail around the north side of Brydon Lagoon. The letter states that, as a result of one single complaint, the City will be removing all stairs which are located on City parkland during the month of June. The Lagoon area is a mini community of people, and the thoughts being presented now are representative of a sizable group who have met in consultation recently with each other in the three cul-de-sacs in the area. Most of us have done work around Brydon Lagoon and consider ourselves unofficial wardens and keepers of an area often referred to as the jewel of our community. Several of us are members of the Langley Field Naturalists, whose ideas and work have been critical to the history of the lagoon over some 30 years. We now have thoughts to express and proposals to make for future action by both the Council and the City staff. I guess we have to ask our questions: are we truly the place to be? Anyway, I would like to introduce Gwen.
Hi, my name is Gwen Miles. I live at 5259 197 A Street, and thank you so much for hearing us tonight. We really appreciate you fitting us in. And I'm really, really proud to be part of such a collaborative, caring neighborhood. It's really quite an amazing place, Brydon Lagoon. It's with some irony, unfortunate irony, that we are here tonight. Residents came to the city for help because our safe access and to the lagoon was blocked when a neighbor appropriated city land on April 2nd, essentially doubling the size of their yard. What happened was the neighbors erected a large gate and a fence obstructing access to the lagoon, and they also placed a large dog in their yard. And we asked for help with that. The result of asking for help so far is that there still remains a 17-foot fence across city property, and now the city is removing all access by ordering the removal of all the stairs to the lagoon. We want you to know that Brydon Lagoons are deeply passionate about this issue. We have invested considerable time and attention to this issue since the city letters were delivered on Thursday, and we plan to continue to do so until the matter is resolved. What we're asking for, please, is the cancellation of this arbitrary order. It's not reasonable that the city orders the removal of the stairs. Residents, their families and friends have enjoyed a 30-year experience of using the stairs safely. City councillors themselves have recently used the stairs safely when they have visited to discuss lagoon issues. Additionally, there are other stairs throughout city parks, Sendell Gardens, and even the stairs at the lagoon duck feeding area. And we wonder, are these safety issues? The sale of houses backing onto the lagoon came with no caveats with reference to stairs, and to impose their removal after 30 years of safe use seems unreasonable. It's our understanding that the one set of stairs that were appropriated and were the source of the original complaint were not actually put in by residents. They existed before the city sold the lots around Brydon Lagoon and were used by city workers. Residents, in fact, added a railing to make them safer. Most importantly, stairs that were constructed by residents were in consultation with Len Walters, a retired manager of parks. The materials that were used and their safety were discussed and approved by Len Walters. The stairs have, in essence, already been approved by the city. This is a photo of the stairs at the duck feeding area at the lagoon. These are in a city park, and they were erected by the city. The issue is one of accessibility. The city cites that the stairs are a safety issue. Stairs and railings were installed by homeowners to achieve safe access. Allowing natural vegetation to replace the stairs, which is what is in the letter that we received, creates a safety issue for the people who travel from their homes to the lagoon. This would be unsafe for anyone, but there are several elderly and disabled people in our community who could not travel down the embankment at all without stairs. It is reasonable for us to access a lagoon trail that is just a few feet away from our property, and it is unreasonable for the city to deny safe access by removing these stairs. We feel it's to the city's advantage to ensure that we have safe and easy access. There is nobody with greater interest in the safety and sustainability of the lagoon than the residents. We are field naturalists, retired seniors, teachers, social workers, firefighters, law enforcement, professors, counselors, and nurses. It's to the advantage of the city for us to have a strong, attentive presence around the lagoon. It helps maintain safety for the families, children, and seniors who use the lagoon, and it deters criminal activity. Residents here have rescued young children who attempted to swim and got stuck in the muck, and were the first to report the fish kill in 2014. Residents remove noxious weeds and maintain the log booms, alert law enforcement and city staff of issues as they arise. Limiting our access will directly affect our presence and our ability to respond, observe, and report issues. We are the stewards of the lagoon. We want you to know residents are very upset with how this issue has been handled. This action is based on one complaint in some 30 years. The letter that we received was vague, unclear, overbearing, and we feel it was dictatorial. The letter even threatened fines on many people who do not even have stairs. We felt it was entirely lacking in consultation, and it was disrespectful in the spirit of cooperative citizenship. We are asking for the cancellation of this arbitrary order. Removing the stairs is not an option for us. We feel that liability is only an issue if there's a safety issue, and we have not experienced nor heard of any safety issues. What we're looking for is discussion and consultation with the city so that any unsafe stairs can be made safe. We ask that you please cancel the order to have the stairs removed and begin a consultation process that is respectful of the residents and acting stewards of Brydon Lagoon.
That's your presentation then? Great. No, thank you for coming this evening, Rhys, and bringing your small delegation. You could have packed the room here, and
Well, we much appreciate having the opportunity.
and this council is very much a believer of having an open dialogue, and that's why normally the cutoff date would have been last Tuesday, but we wanted to hear what the residents had to say. And what's going to happen now is that Mr. Chung and Mr. Baumhoff are going to have some discussions and come up with some suggestions there that hopefully will be very receptive to all parties involved. And it's not a simple solution there because of some of the issues that are there. So you fully understand that no quick decision will be made tonight, and our staff will be getting in contact with you again, and they may have some further discussions and some further input because it takes a few minds to work around this. So we as a council appreciate you coming this evening and actually helping us look at some other issues in the city as well. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you did keep it down.
Yeah.
Perfect. Welcome, welcome, Rhys. You know, come back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next item we have is under the mayor's report, upcoming meetings. The next regular council meeting is on June 13th. The next one after that is June 27th. And under Metro Vancouver, Councillor Storeboom, do you have anything?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council has received the Metro Chair's update and the most recent board and brief for Friday, May 27th. Some highlights include Parks approving a land swap at Derby Reach with the approval of the electorate as pursuant to the Local Government Act, of course, to enhance the Derby Reach facility. Statistical review of Metro Parks reported providing 11.3 million individual visits recorded at 10 of 21 Metro Parks, a significant increase of 5% over 2014. Also of interest, volunteer statistics identifying 26,215 volunteer hours recorded system-wide for 2015. The GVRD, the board adopted a regional affordable housing strategy, including participating in regional coordination efforts around homelessness as allowed under the federal homelessness partnering strategy contract. They approved a review of the federal gas tax expenditure in cooperation with the Mayor's Council and TransLink to be presented at UBCM for our consideration and possible approval this fall. Also, they initiated conversations with the federal and provincial ministries requesting analysis and input for the proposed George Massey Tunnel Replacement Project, beginning with environmental assessments. They approved various reports about air quality, performance measures, financial statements, parklands management, flood control, river management, and a zero waste promotional campaign called Love Food, Hate Waste. In water, there was a review of the sprinkling regulations, awareness, conservation, water quality reporting, and the future of water resources called hydrologic forecasting. In sewerage and drainage, including solid waste, they approved incorporating a surcharge for unsecured loads into the proposed 2017 tipping fee bylaw, as well as developing requirements to waive tipping fees for volunteer community cleanup events. developing an education and awareness program to reduce abandoned waste, continuing to work with member municipalities to track municipal cleanup costs for abandoned waste, and continuing to work with member municipalities to facilitate information, sharing, and collaboration in reducing abandoned waste. In response to last week's request for information at our most recent regularly scheduled meeting, I provided the Good Councillor with meeting minutes, agendas, financial statements, and reports that can address questions associated with the allocation of reserves for water, sanitary, and assets, as well as the $25.9 million operating surplus. Further, I included a full version of the Regional Food Action Plan that has been implemented in the region. With specific regard to disposal bans, a full list of banned materials is available at the Metro Vancouver website. At Metro Vancouver disposal facilities, loads are inspected for banned materials that shouldn't be in the garbage, such as recyclable materials, product stewardship materials, or hazardous materials that might pose a risk to waste collection workers, the public, or the environment. Surcharges apply if these materials are found in the garbage at Metro Vancouver disposal facilities. A $50 minimum surcharge plus the potential cost of removal, cleanup, or remediation will be applied to loads containing banned hazardous and operational impact materials or product stewardship materials. A surcharge of 50% of the tipping fee on the entire load will be applied to loads containing banned recyclable materials. Instead of disposing of these items in the garbage, banned recyclable materials and product stewardship materials can be dropped off at a list of locations provided on the Metro Vancouver website. And the question about MMBC did surprise me, and I would like to develop that inquiry further. As it is, multi-material BC is subject to the province of British Columbia, the BC Recycling Regulation, and the Environmental Management Act that requires every producer of packaging and printed paper materials into the BC residential marketplace to operate or be a member of an approved plan concerning the end-of-life management of these products. It is my understanding that in the event MMBC of not fulfilling their duties under the Act, the provincial government can be expected to respond. Thank you for your questions. Please contact me or Metro staff directly. In closing, I'm especially happy to report that with various sustainability option grants and environmental awareness grants being awarded for 2017, that Langley's Urban Agricultural Demonstration Project is awarded $50,000 for the first phase of a field test project on whether a utility right-of-way can be used productively for urban agricultural purposes while contributing to the amenities of a residential neighborhood. The project involves the City of Langley and Kwantlen Polytechnic University working to develop a site implementation plan during the first phase. Subsequent phases will involve creating an urban farm site that supports the education of young and aspiring farmers. So congratulations to our own Francis Chung, Gerald Minchuk, and Roy Beto, as well as Metro staff for preparing, enhancing, and recommending the application for approval at the Climate Action Committee and at the GVRD Board of Directors. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Storeboom. You don't have a question, do you, Mr. Albrecht?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Rudy, for providing the links so I could do the research on the questions I asked. I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to the Regional Affordable Housing Strategy, what they're looking for from Minister Coleman. Hopefully we can get some movement moving forward to provide the appropriate and affordable housing. And I'm also wondering what might be the expected timeline for the implementation plan, because they were talking about the implementation plan for the strategy. So I know that may be still a little vague, and I understand that. I too wanted to acknowledge that $50,000 grant. You forgot to mention that the Langley Environmental Partner Society, Langley Eats local project was granted $5,000, so I want to congratulate LEPS. They do great work. And the George Massey Tunnel Replacement Project, I think I remember seeing a letter that was being sent to Minister Stone, but I'm just wondering, has Metro taken a position on tunnel or bridge? Do you happen to know that?
No, not at this time. It's still in the analysis and discussion stage.
Understood. Perfect. Thank you. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. I look forward to more conversations with you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anything further from Councillor Storyboom? Seeing none. Councillor Martin, Library.
Thank you very much. The Fraser Valley Regional Library is actively looking to the future with a robust strategic planning process for 2018. Our CEO, Scott Hargrove, and consultant Ken Roberts met with staff at 6 Fraser Valley locations, including the City of Langley Library, in mid-May. Scott and Ken presented key information on the strategic plan and gathered important insights from frontline staff. These consultations were very well received by staff members who are excited about the opportunities for growth and innovation. And I'm just going to add that the board also spent 2 days in the strategic planning process also. Another crucial aspect of the strategic planning process is the public consultations. Special consultants are meeting with members of the public in May to learn what customers want and need from their public library. Again, the City of Langley is one of the host locations for these consultations, giving members of our community a valuable opportunity to contribute to the development of our library. The regional library highly values customer feedback and insights, and these findings from consultations will be incorporated into the information presented to the library board. There's no date yet when these consultations are going to happen, but keep an eye out in the paper and perhaps on our website, because it is important that we get feedback from our users of the library. And lastly, the City of Langley has noticed an uptick in the number of customers visiting the library since the new Tim's Community Centre opened. The atmosphere in the library is noticeably vibrant, with people from all walks of life enjoying what the library has to offer on a daily basis. And the library is very proud to be part of the amazing amenities available to everyone in the City of Langley. And that's the library report.
Next item you have is tourism, I believe.
Yeah, it's not usually, but I just wanted to mention that Tourism Langley held their inaugural Langley lineup showcase on Thursday, May the 26th at the Event Centre. And the purpose of the showcase was to provide a platform to showcase a vast array of tourism-related products and services to frontline staff and volunteers that the City and the Township of Langley have to offer. And the City of Langley, Kim and her staff were there with a little table. And the outcomes of the inaugural event were very positive. There were about 30 exhibitors representing the diverse mix of high-quality attractions, businesses, and services to Langley. Approximately 60 to 70 ambassadors, including Mr. Minchuk and myself, attended, and participants are already asking when the next one will be held. So it was the first annual. It was positive. I don't know if Mr. Minchuk wants to add anything to this, Mr. Mayor, but him and I did spend an hour and a half or so there. Thank you.
Good. Mr. Minchuk just... No, perfect. Thank you, Councillor Martin. The next item we have is something quite outstanding. It's the Recreation Facilities Association of BC Bill Wozniak Outstanding Facility Award. And the City of Langley is the recipient of the Bill Wozniak Outstanding Facility Award from the Recreation Facilities Association of BC. The Memorial Award honors W.E. Bill Wozniak, a past president of the RFABC, and is awarded to one outstanding new or improved facility in the province each year. Well, just one. Yes. The Outstanding Facility Award, the conditions of the award: it must be a relatively new or newly renovated facility. It must meet a demonstrated community need. It should demonstrate innovations in design, energy management, operations, revenue generation, services, etc. The facility or community must have a member of good standing within the RFABC, and I believe that is Kim Hilton. Darren Lake, is it? Whoa. And the facility should demonstrate efficiencies in operation, energy consumption, and preventive maintenance. So our new Tim's Community Center has won this very prestigious award, one in the province.
We're so good.
Yes, and this actually, the award should go to the staff and the people that run the facility downstairs, the staff that helped in the design of this facility. It's a beautiful facility, and to those in the viewing audience that haven't dropped in, please drop in and take a look at it. It is something. And next item I have is that Try It Triathlon is going to be held in a couple of weeks. And the Try It Triathlon has a category for the over 60 group, and that is in remembrance of our colleague, Councillor Dave Hall. And there will be an unveiling, a bit of a plaque unveiling at 11:30 that day. For those of you at the Try It Triathlon, it's going to be, we have a tree planted there, and there's going to be just a little unveiling. I know that knowing Dave quite well, he wouldn't have wanted anything spectacular, but it's just to give a little bit of a presence in the community. And Dave was so passionate at the park. So he was at the Try It Triathlon at the bike end of it, and I know that Councillor Pahal will be there. And it'll be an interesting day at the triathlon. So please join us if you can. And there is a, next item I have is a City Park Master Plan Public Open House. The City of Langley invites the public to attend an open house to view the updated draft City Park Master Plan and provides feedback. Comments from the previous public and stakeholder meetings have been used to create a final draft plan. Once the feedback on the final draft master plan is received and any resulting changes made, the master plan will be presented to Council for adoption. So the location is at H.D. Stafford School at 20441 Grade Crescent, Wednesday, June 1, from 4 till 7. So Wednesday, June 1, 4 till 7. And the staff will be there. And now we go into bylaws. Smoking regulation bylaw. And we have to rescind one, and before we do, could I just ask Councillor Machata, Yahoo! To explain why we have to rescind and then do another reading.
Yes, so as you may recall, as this is a bylaw that deals with a health issue, it requires approval from the Ministry of Health before it can be adopted by Council. I submitted it to the Ministry. They are supportive of Council adopting such legislation, but did recommend that we consider stronger definition language for e-cigarettes, which has been included in the revised bylaw in front of you, requiring rescindment of third reading and then give third reading as amended.
Thank you, Councillor. So the motion is that third reading of the bylaw cited as the smoking regulation bylaw 2010 number 2792, amendment number 2, 2016 number 2988, given April 25th, 2016, be rescinded. And Councillor Pahal, seconded by Councillor Stadler. All those in favor? Against? It's unanimous 4. And that the new motion that the bylaw cited as smoking regulation bylaw 2010 number 2792, amendment number 2, 2016 number 2988 be read a third time as amended. And I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Martin and Councillor Stadler. And any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Against? It's unanimous 4. Thank you, Ms. Machado, on that. The next item is a bylaw 2989, a land use contract discharge, third and final reading of a bylaw cited as discharge of land use contract number 2373, bylaw number 2016, number 2989. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Pakal and Councillor Martin. All those in favor? It's unanimous 4. And under the administrative reports, we have one here for Councillor Martin, Councillor Gail Martin, for an application for FCM committee position, and that City Council approved Councillor Martin to sit on a FCM standing committee that deals with homelessness and affordable housing issues. If selected by the President of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, FCM, and that City Council approved the travel expenses associated with being a member of a Federation of Canadian Municipalities Standing Committee as per the City's Travel and Expense Policy GE-10. And I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Albrecht, Councillor Stadler. Any kind of a discussion? Councillor Martin, would you like to say that you're looking forward to working on there?
Well, that's if I'm selected. I understand that there's several people right from across Canada that apply for committee appointments. I just felt that given the situation that we deal with here in Langley in regards to the homeless and the federal government's new sort of outlook on affordable housing and what have you, this is a committee that will directly deal with the federal government in this regards, and I just felt that if we did get a spot that you'd be at the table. So, and I think it's important.
Perfect.
But there's no guarantee.
I'm hopeful. Councillor Stadler.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and my commendation to Councillor Martin for making herself available for this position. I certainly wish you well in this application, and I hope that they have the wisdom and foresight to include you with your tremendous experience in this particular field of endeavor and to serve our city at that table. I hope that at some point in the future you'll be able to bring us back some positive reports on how to deal with the issue here in our community. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. I think it's great that a council member from the City of Langley allows their name to be put forward. I know a few years ago Councillor Arnold was on an FCM committee, and it's always encouraging when a small city can have the dialogue with some of the larger communities that are out there and get some input. It's so important to be out there. So now I'll vote on the motion. All those in favor? Against? It's unanimous 4. Now to province conference request. I see Mr. Councillor Chief Thompson was here, but bailed on this one. Must have had a fire to go to. I would have thought this was the one that he'd hang around for. That Rory Thompson, Fire Chief, be authorized to attend the 2016 Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs Annual Conference, Fire Rescue Canada 2016 in St. John's, Newfoundland from September 25th to 28th, 2016. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Albrecht, Councillor Arnold. All those in favor? Against? It's unanimous 4. And yes, Rory, we were giving him a hard time earlier. Next is a motion is that from the Public Safety Committee appointment that Rick Barnett of ABC First Aid be appointed to the Public Safety Advisory Committee as a member representing business from May 30th, 2016 to December 31st, 2016. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Pakal, Councillor Martin. And if there's any discussion, seeing none, all those in favor? Against? It's unanimous 4. Next one we have is a youth representative that Megan Laycock be appointed to the Public Safety Advisory Committee as a member representing the youth from May 30th, 2016 to December 31st, 2016. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Martin, Councillor Arnold. For the youth. That's great. All those in favor? Against? It's unanimous 4. And to Councillor Vandenbroek, I'm looking forward to for your meeting input, and it's quite an important committee that you're sitting on, this Public Safety Committee, and it's great to have some new blood and nice to have some youth on there as well to give a different perspective. Correspondence, we have some correspondence from Spark BC that June 4th is Access Awareness Day, World Oceans Day, that June 1st is 1st to 8th is World Oceans Week, and Tourism Industry Association of BC, May 29th to June 4th is National Tourism Week. That's the correspondence that we received. And Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just going to mention in regards to the tourism that we did receive a letter from the Manager of Communications and Membership Support from Tourism Industry in regards to being an ambassador on June 30th, or May the 30th. But instead, June the 2nd, I believe you and I, you from 12 till 2 and myself from 2 till 4 are going to be at the Farmers Market as ambassadors for Tourism Langley. And I haven't heard, but there was question that maybe Friday night or late Friday afternoon, but I will go to that if that comes to pass, but I haven't heard on that. So we'll see you in passing on Wednesday, I think that is.
Just like the Irish ambassador? No,
yeah.
no, not us.
But we will be representing the city in that regard on June the 2nd.
All righty, we're going to be there.
You know you're going.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. No, we're going to be at the market.
That's right.
To market, Gail and Ted go, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, seeing nothing else, I need a mover closer to adjourn. Councillor Storyboom, Councillor Vanderbroek, all those in favor? It's unanimous 4. We're out of here.